What's up, guys? Damnation-n-Hellfire here, and we're here for another episode of No Quarter. This one we've called Highest Point Pillage Ever, because to get all the new stuff, you sure do need a whole lot of points. With us tonight, we got Simba.
Hello.
We're going to see if she can't stay awake for an entire show this time. We got Cuttlefish.
Hello, everyone.
And we got Ross.
Good evening, everyone.
And I'm going to put the link over here in chat if anybody else wants to jump on, because we actually have a couple empty spots. So I guess we could talk about pillage and the billions and billions of points that we need.
Sure, I'll begin. I've got about 800,000 points so far. I've got a very nice little trick floating around on how to do the 129s with the Pegasus. Does work much better if your Pegasus, War Pegasus, is at X1, so it has the side cannons. Yeah, I do those for about under 30 minutes of damage per. I've currently got 25 of them stacked. It's the Praetorian one which is causing me the most issues.
Your Pegasus has the side cannons no matter if you're at X1 or not.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just that X1 gives you the higher defenses.
Right.
So would you like to share that trick with everybody?
Sure. If you'll
You
give
do
me
that
a
all the
minute.
time. Like, I have a little trick, and then you don't tell anybody what it is.
Basically, the trick for me, I'll bring up a screenshot and we can share it later on in the show. Not prepared for that. But the trick is I basically group up my entire fleet and put them all into the first little corner. And then I move my flagship off and have it tank. And so as the enemy ships come in, they come in and hit my side cannons. And I just park there until all the ships are done. And then I group my ships up and hit auto, and they take care of the rest of it. I do that for under 30 minutes of damage. Yeah, I'll get you a screenshot for later on so you can see exactly where I park.
Right on. Yeah, I've also started using that trick, and it definitely cut down my damage. Because trying to drive around and kite and do all that, I was taking way more damage than what I am just sitting there, which is kind of ironic.
And I agree. I've even been doing that. So to some extent. And so that's what I've been doing.
I've been doing it too.
Ross, let's talk about your millions of points that you're at.
Here we go. All right, everybody, hold on, and you might want to sit down because I have now reached 130K.
Oh my goodness, you're tearing it up.
I'm in beast mode, and look out. I'm but to be all honest, I don't have problems with these targets, but I just lost the drive. They're boring, and so they're not really autoable for me. If the 128s, I still have been autoing, but the damage is a little higher for me. So it's just not a. And here's the real thing: is the PvP for me is fun. I'm still hitting, and so if you want to take away from my, and I just, I'm repairing in that way. It's not like I'm not playing. I'm actually playing a great deal. I'm just not pillaging it up,
Well, I have to say, when this pillage came out and we looked at the point requirement for all the new stuff, plus the limited 5 FM rockets, we were all like, "Holy freaking crap!" Because I do honestly think this is probably, to get all the new stuff and current limited stuff and whatnot, this is probably the highest point pillage ever that we've had to date.
Oh, by far. I mean, I don't think there's something close. I mean, is there really? I can't think of anyone with the limited weapons and all. And then you even look down and we might want to just make sure if everybody goes through it. We can go through it later or whatever. But yeah, I saw there's the added onslaught engines even. So there's just a number of limited things. The total score can go way up. Yeah.
Yeah. I myself actually picked up 5 of the onslaught engines because I figure, well, we're not going to be having more than 5 Conquerors anytime soon on top of what I already have. So 5 should be sufficient. But I'm currently at 620K.
Oh,
And I'm just slow repairing. I go out and do some 129s, and then I do some 128s, and then after post cleats repair, I go out and do some more sets for a while. So I'm just kind of trucking along.
yeah. I guess the good thing I can say is about my 130K, about 100,000 of it is all the 128s with the Praetorians on auto. So, and they're the worst ones for damage wise, but they're the ones you can auto. And so the points I could pick up if I start driving.
I mean, quite honestly, the 129 trick is damn close to auto.
Right.
Because you just go park in one spot and kill the fleet, and then after that, you just auto the rest of the target. So,
and that's okay too, right?
Yeah.
I'm ready to screen share that now if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
There we go.
Oh, and
As soon as I remember what button to hit.
yeah, what I've been doing, I went traveling. I finally left 18, and I've had a good little time. I'm going to go back to 18 for the raid but it's been kind of fun for me to get out and get hit by other players and hit other people. So I think I might do that more. And I guess
There we go.
all right.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. I was like, what am I not doing right? And then I realized, oh, it's not me that's not doing something right. All right, explain your screenshot. Go for it.
Well, the entrance is just above the screen on the right, and you just come into this first little corner there, and you park all of your regular Pegasi into that corner as tight as you can. Then you just move your war Pegasus up, just so it's still inside the green defensive ring of your other ships, and park it there so as the enemy ships come in, they get shot by your side cannons, hopefully twice if you've built these right. And then some of them will make it to the other side and get shot again. If your war Pegasus is too close to the turret next to where the next to this corner here, if your war Pegasus gets too close to that corner, the stonefish will come up and bounce off this corner. So make sure you're tucked in pretty tightly there.
Yeah,
It's pretty easy.
A couple times.
And
Yeah,
then
you got to make sure you do keep some distance between your flag and the rest of your fleet. Otherwise, because the whole reason that you separate them like that is so the other fleet isn't taking splash damage from the corrosive scatter guns. And if you get them too close together, you're going to take the splash damage. So make sure you keep some distance there. Cool.
And then afterwards, just group up your ships and hit auto, and they'll mop the rest of this up.
Nice. All right. Oh, thanks for that. I was actually even doing it at a different spot. That looks a lot better than where I was.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Simba, how's your pillage going?
It's actually going fairly well. Give me a second. I'll give you my score. I'm actually out prepping.
1. Time's up.
Okay. I'm at 633,000.
Oh, so you're 13,000 ahead of me.
Yep.
Jesus. That's crazy. That's a lot. So
And I'm long repairing them, so
Cool. What about you, Stormcatcher?
I'm sitting at 200 and something K. I've been most of that score is from the 67 and 68. I may have hit 2 or 3 sets of the 128 and 129, but most of my score is from the 67, 68s. To get everything that I would like to have, I'd have to score up over 1,000,000 points, and there ain't no way that I'm gonna get that now since I've been very busy. The last couple of the 128s that I've hit, I've went from about like 52 minutes of damage up to an hour and a half. I've done the same thing that I did the first 2 or 3 times that I've hit them, but that half-hour increase, I don't know where the heck that come from.
I don't know. Cruise, maybe? Were you using crew before and not now?
No, I've been running no cruise, but
That's weird, because normally pillage damage they don't really jack with that much, really.
no. I mean, if you're autoing maybe, but
I'm putting in waypoints, and I'm clicking the same spots that I have been, but then all of a sudden damage shot up.
Let me ask you this. Like, after you click your waypoints, do you watch the battle?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know even after I click my waypoints in, sometimes my flagship will just decide, no, I'm going to skip this waypoint that you put up here, and I'm going to go on down to the next one, while the rest of my fleet is going to where it's supposed to. So,
well, there's a couple of times that they follow waypoints, and by the time it's over, my tank is to the end of it before my fleet is even 3/4 away for it, and they hit the same waypoints. It's like all of a sudden they just started pulling away for some reason. It's like that. I think the same problem that Cuttlefish had a long time ago with his fleet separating for no reason whatsoever.
Oh, and I would like to say thank you for whatever you did, because this is the first time I think ever on a show that I haven't had to strain to hear you.
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome right there.
Right? It's changed. I'm doing the little trick you just showed, and it's working well. Cuttlefish, thank you. And I'm not even I mean, I wasn't even really hitting the 129s because the driving element factor.
Well, no problem. I mean, it sounds like you have a bunch of 128 stacked, so
right.
That should rocket your points up pretty nicely.
Right. Yeah. I don't think I'll be spending 70K on the 2-day structure, however.
That was the first thing I bought, honestly.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so my OP is actually done now, and now I'm working on the dot.
Because if your OP gets hit, it's a 10-hour repair, right? Whereas the dot gets hit, it's almost instant.
All right.
Wow.
I was like, get that OP done and out of the way.
Well, we've got somebody in our sector that's been hitting us around the clock with 5 warhounds, and well, I've been staying bubbled.
I think the whole game's been getting hit around the clock, or at least around where I am. Not because of me, it's just how the game is going. That's what I've been seeing. Isn't that what everybody's seeing?
I have not been hit actually. I've been hit one time since Bounty ended, and that wasn't even a real hit. Like I don't. I'll be honest. It was somebody from Cass, and I'm not sure what the hell he was doing.
Well, I've been having a blast, but I went and spent my time on building the Warhound fleet, and I spent my time in even coins on the fleet. So that's kind of where I've been focusing on, and that's been fun because base defense is so it's hard right now. The as an attacker, it's rather fun if you're willing to coin. So
Because there's a lot of active PvP going on at the moment. Just a lot of it.
yeah, I mean, just
I mean,
here.
that's the one good thing about Warhounds too. It's like even if you're gonna going to go do some PvP, they're probably one of the cheapest fleets in the game to repair at the moment.
It's yeah.
Because like I don't know about you guys, but like mine come in at like an hour and 15 minutes, fully armored and everything.
Yeah, I don't really know exactly, but I have to agree with that whole statement on the cheapest fleet. It is my cheapest fleet currently, PvP to repair, and it works well with a Grease Monkey crew on top of it. So and that really knocks it down if you're able to have those crews. But the Warhound fleet itself, I find many crews work on it, and I think that many crews work on it regardless of your build. I really do. I think the Sea Serpents is a good one. The Grease Monkey's a great one. I just don't know. Midnight Marauders. There's just a number of crews that can work.
The cheap version of the demo squad. Oh, what's that one called? Creeping Death? No. What the hell is it called? The one that gives you extra 30. The one that gives you the extra 30 seconds on base hits and gives you extra building damage and shit.
Creeping Death.
Creeping Death.
Okay, I was right. It is Creeping Death. Oh, and Carl in the chat is saying Warhounds are cheap to repair as nothing can really damage them. I don't find that to be true, actually. I find there's a lot of stuff out there that can damage Warhounds, actually, and kind of jack them up pretty good.
Oh, I think I can stop pretty much your average Joe Warhounds and all of them, and myself. But there happens to be other fleets you're going to truly run over me. In my opinion, right now, that you can defend against a couple, and you can't defend against all right now.
Yeah.
And so if you have that ability to read bases, and you also have multiple fleet skills and fleets in your arsenal, it's your time to shine. Now, where I'm really lacking, and I'll just say it straight like it is, I have the fleet. That Basilisk fleet is a you can't almost barely can stop that fleet in most people's setup, and I just can't drive it. I'll be honest. I can't drive it. And the people that do drive those so well, I'm really impressed. I enjoy the videos and keep up the great work because I do like them.
Yeah, Chuck is saying about upgrading the retro lab for tier 9 Conqueror repair times. Well, yeah, that's a first world problem for most people, Chuck, because most people are just now getting their OP finished. So they still have like dock to go, and then they probably a lot of things. I know the first thing people want to do is the lab that gives you your upgrade time repair deductions, or your upgrade reductions rather.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, doing the retro lab is like a first world problem that most people aren't even looking at this point.
The advanced lab. just as
Yeah.
a note.
Oh, gotcha. I knew it was one of them. I just couldn't remember which one.
Well, my OP has been in at 8 days for the last 3 days. As soon as my bubble goes down, it's bam, I get hit. My OP gets torn up. I might have my OP done by the middle of July or August.
Oh well, you'll get it done before that because you'll get your structure build tokens in the FM if nothing else. So
Well, my dock might. I don't know when I'm going to ever get my dock done. You know, that's
no,
what
the dock's like instant repair pretty much.
Yeah, you're okay on the dock.
No, what
Well,
I
it's
mean.
it's like
Get it
what
up.
2.5 hours, I think, roughly.
Yeah.
No, what I mean getting it upgraded.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's a while, but what I'm saying is you won't have the downtime.
And I think that's where a lot of people that are trying to get what they want and pillage and all that is losing time because with PvP going the way it's going, a lot of people's not coining their docks and everything, and they're losing that 2.5 hours. And, you know, after a day when the bubble pops, they get hit again. So at least once a day, they're losing 2.5 hours. And for those that works and everything, as costly as this pillage is going, and even in the future, way prices and that are going in anything, that 2.5 hours is going to make or break quite a few people.
I think what really, to me anyway, and you guys can put your 2 cents worth in on this. I think what really put this pillage over the top as far as points needed was the 22,500 points for the launchers and having to get 10 of them.
Yeah.
I think that's really kind of what put it over the top.
Yep. I'd agree. And
Now, the one thing to note for you people who don't have your dock fully upgraded and are going to go with 3 ships and a flag or whatever, don't stress if you can't get all 10 of these launchers, because guess what? If you got the ones from the TLC and the one from the ones from the 2 previous events, you don't need them. Because, probably due to weight considerations and everything, you're probably going to be able to put 7 launchers per boat. So that puts you at 28 launchers? I think on the flag with my build anyway, I can actually put an extra one on there. So that's 29 launchers. So technically I wouldn't have had to get any for this event if I didn't want to, and still had my portion of my fleet that I'm using raid ready. So, just something to think about. Well, and if you need to cut points too, I don't think the engines are an essential thing, in my opinion. I don't think they are. You can probably get by with, the Scorcher turbine. Yeah, you can get by with that one. I think you'd be fine with that one. So, if you're having problems getting points, there are places where you can cut and trim points. Like Cuddle and Jolly and I were talking about it when the list first came out. We were talking about it on Discord, and they were kind of amazed by the amount of points I was able to cut off just by saying, this isn't necessary, this isn't necessary, this isn't necessary. So, yeah.
It needs to have, but not a necessity.
Yeah. Like my personal opinion, the only thing you really need out of this entire pillage is the flagship, the kits for the flagship, and for me, the structure build tokens were a must-have. I think everything on top of that is just, could be beneficial, but not essential, in my opinion.
Can I add 2 VXP tokens for the flag? That will take you to will take you to 72% reload versus 75. 72 is good enough, right, for the first raid?
Yeah, I always forget about the VXP tokens. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Steve, in chat, that I don't think that the engine is essential. I really don't. I mean, would it be nice to have? Sure, probably, but I don't think it's essential. I'm not going into the first raid with the limited engine. I mean, I have them, but I'm not going to take the time to equip them because I think upgrading my flag is more important, honestly.
I'm planning on using one of those engines on my flagship because the tactic I plan to be using is using my flagship as a tank. So I wanted to move just a slight bit faster than the rest of my fleet, and I would like it to have slightly more survival. So hopefully it will last longer. But that is the only place I'll be using that engine. I think that keeping the Scorcher turbine with the 10% extra radioactive damage is far too good to give up for that pitiful amount of survival.
Yeah, I mean, I guess another important thing we should tell people too is like, you know, whenever you're doing your upgrades for your fleet, don't try to get like, you know, 3 ships to U1. Try to get 1 ship to U2, and then try to get a 2nd ship to U2, because that U2 bonus gives you ballistic and radioactive survival across your whole fleet, and it's way more important than upgrading each one time.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Now the fleet I plan to use that V42 engine on, if I can actually get a 5th one or a 6th one now, because I'm using one, is my Dragoon fleet. I think it would be really nicely. I think that engine would go great on the Dragoons. Not that I think we're ever going to use them again.
Yeah, I'm not sure that there's going to be anything that the Dragoons could do that the Punisher is not going to be able to do. So, I mean, we don't have to worry about any gates that it can't shoot down in SSRBs on auto. So, you know, that's positive. Okay, so has anybody tried anybody doing the TLCs?
You're not gonna believe it.
You did the whole thing, like all mastery rounds and everything.
No. But
Wow.
I can say Cry Havoc.
Yeah.
I've done,
There you go.
but I have not done what you can do it 5 times.
Right.
And I have,
Well, actually, I think the mastery round is 3 times for that one.
I'm looking at it. Cry Havoc, 5, right?
I'm gonna load the game. I'm pretty sure it was 3.
0 of 5.
It was 3, but they changed it to 5.
Oh, when did they do that?
Okay, so that is a big. In all honesty, there's structure tokens, 5 of them right there.
Oh, holy shit! Yeah, they did that too.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Well, I think they were in there originally, but yeah, I didn't know they changed it from 3 mastery runs to 5 mastery runs.
But it's a pretty high damage gig though. If you're not somebody that's gonna pick it apart with multiple fleets, if you're just gonna go at it with your warhounds or whatever, it can be. Mine did it, but it's pretty high damage.
And ironically enough, I find the 2nd encounter and the 4th encounter to be the 2 highest damage ones. The 2nd encounter is the one that has all the Tempest launchers in it.
Yeah.
And then the 4th one is the one that has all the downburst cannons in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are definitely the two encounters that I personally find to be the most damaging.
And so maybe even I suggest a Sea Serpent crew for those encounters to just maybe boost a little bit more evade is my thinking possibly. But I don't know if I'm going to continue it, but it's out there, and it does offer a 1-day structure token each time you go through, and a 1-day Warhound build token. for those that are still working on their fleets, but I think it almost takes a Warhound fleet to make it.
I did it last time. You don't need a Warhound fleet. I did it last time. You do need at least one Warhound, in my opinion. I did it like I did just use the single Warhound for encounters 1, 2, and 3. I think after encounter 2, I did have to spend like a coin or two on my Warhound. And then from encounter 4 on, I did a Warhound tank along with 4 subjugators.
There you go. Okay.
And that actually worked out fairly well. And we got Snoopy with us. Hey, Snoopy.
Good deal. Good deal. Let's see. It may take him a second here.
Is Snoopy going to speak?
Oh,
Yeah, I am now. Yeah.
There you go. How are you doing, Snoopy?
Hey, Snoopy.
I was just closing windows with the other sound on. That was all.
There you go. So Ross has been prepping for you this whole event, huh?
All the time. Every
That's
single
all
one.
he has critical points. So you're at what? You're over at like a million points in pillage, aren't you?
Am I?
I think so. I
It's
was
a
looking at the leaderboard earlier.
That'll be a different Snoopy. Ross has been prepping, so I'm not very high up.
I was going to say, he must really be doing a good job at imitating you, then, because he's got the same picture as you and everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of copycats about.
Yeah. So it's going well for you?
Well, basically, I want some tokens for the top 361, is it? So, yeah, it's all free. So, I'm quite happy doing it, ish. Too many points required again, but there we go. The 129s are like a couple of minutes repair on the flag, and the 128s are just auto with a demo co on. Not driving anything really. Not driving that Jaws.
Well, good. Then I'd say it's going good.
Have you? Did you do the Warhound TLC?
No, not touched it. Did it last time. Oh, tried it last time. Didn't like the damage, and really, I've got the fleets. I can't be bothered. Not, if a few Warhound tokens now, I'll just slow build.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I guess it all comes down to if it's worth it for you or not. Like, if I remember last time, I think each mastery round was costing me like 4 coins. So it was like 4 coins, 4 or 5 coins for a 1-day token. I'm okay with that, you know?
Yeah, that's good. That is good. But I've got my FM fleet is doing the 128s. That's repairing. I've not done the FM yet. What do I do? You know, you got to keep.
Yeah, that's definitely the tough thing to try to balance your PvE repair times right now against your trying to get that PvP TLC done.
I'll give it a go tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah, I'll probably end up like, you know, because since Warhounds are primarily what I'll be using and they are such a short repair time, it won't be that hard to bust out like, you know, 2 or 3 rounds of the TLC in one day. So
I'm surprised in that they didn't leave in the Conquer repair queue after Bounty. I guess they got put on hold when they decided to put everything else on hold. But I remember they was going to leave that in after Bounty was done.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that goat comes with all the other PvP upgrades. So I wish they had left it in, but it doesn't surprise me that they didn't.
Right.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Okay, so what else is there to talk about? We got 25 more minutes to go. So where's everybody at on their Punishers? I know I'm going to run a fleet of the Flag and 3 others, and I'm going to be well done in time for the raid. And actually have probably most of my ships, including the Flag, up to U2.
I'm in sad shape. I have 4 built, 4 regular built, but they are overweight to run together. So I'm going to have to go back and reduce the number of weapons on them to run my 4. And I have
You fucked with the build that I gave you, didn't you?
no.
You
Yeah.
had to. You had to. Because
No.
the build I gave you was going to make it.
Well, I don't know. I didn't count the number of guns then. I just filled it.
Okay.
And
Yeah, 'cause I remember specifically telling you, leave those 2 spots empty.
okay, well, so I'm over. And then that's it. And then I have the flag building, shell building, and it's going to be running into the time just about the start of the race. So it's interesting. I'm going to be running with three ships, but they're heavily gunned. It is what it is. You know, I'm not really stressed on it. If they want me to do well, they'll make the targets so I can hit something. You know, that's it.
I know myself when I've been doing the trims of time is like armor wise, I'm just using like 2 plates of the limited armor, the radioactive limited armor, and then the rest of the plates I'm just going D2E to give me some evade.
Yeah, I loaded the D2E up because that's what I have. I don't have all the limited yet, but I'm getting there. But I think that I won't be alone. I think that a lot of people are just not going to be able to fit in a correct working fleet. So we're going to have to see what it's tuned like, you know?
Like it's funny because me personally, I have felt like 0 pressure building this fleet because I don't like the targets. You know, I despise the fact that they put mines in a siege target. I absolutely fucking despise that. I don't think they have any place in a siege target, and it annoys me. So like, if I don't even, I'll do like the bare minimum probably in the raid. I'll do enough to get the points for the new Conqueror hull, and I'm assuming there'll be a weapon and maybe a special. I'll get points for that, and I'll be done, man. Because I don't like the targets.
Right.
I've got my I've got my flag built, upgrading it because but most of my ships are not built fully. But because I'm going for upgrades, because I always find them better than armor, basically. So not one of my ships has any armor on it, not one, and most don't even have all the weapons on.
Yeah, I think if you get 2 of the regular boats to U2, that's almost like having 2 plates of armor on every single one of your ships.
Yeah, it's just that is a great deal. I mean, how that works out. So it's just I wasn't smart enough to figure that out.
I'm got 3 built. They're not fully built because ever since they've come out, me trying to get them built has been crazy. And I've been running around so much. My dock has actually stayed emptied half the time since they've been out.
Oh, jeez.
Your dock or your shipyard, you mean?
Shipyard, you mean? But
Yeah, my shipyard.
yeah.
God.
I mean, I get something going and all that, but by the time it's done, I'm not here.
Right. Well, and I'll be honest too. Like, if anybody who wasn't able to do the TLC to get those, what was it? It was like 8 days worth of build tokens, I believe, in that TLC.
Right.
Is gonna be well behind. That if you couldn't do that TLC, you're starting out at a big detriment. Or in Ross's case, if you probably could have done it, but just couldn't be bothered to do it.
Right. I didn't do it.
Ross prepped for me.
I prepped him. Yeah. No, I just didn't do it. Lack of just wasn't exciting.
The targets themselves weren't exciting to me, but the 8 days worth of build tokens were pretty exciting to me. So I forced myself through it.
That was the Dragoon one, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Where everything was really reasonable until Encounter 7.
Right.
I've been to bed since then. I can't remember that one.
Yeah,
I know I did it, but it was the Pegasus TLC I couldn't be bothered with. It was like I started it 5 times for the second mastery round and aborted every time. It was like, what am I doing this for? I hate this. I don't want to sit here for an hour doing that. It's like, started again. Why have I done that? Because I'm fucking senile. Sorry for my language.
No, you're fine. I let some slip every now and then, so it's good. Simba, where are you at with your fleet?
Let me look.
I have 5 ships done, and they're all U3.
Right.
No.
And they fit
Nope.
and they fit in my upgraded shipyard.
Oh, that is upgraded.
Is it?
Yes. Or the dock is.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's pretty awesome if you have an upgraded shipyard, because I don't think we even had one of those.
Yeah, I mean dock.
Or not shipyard, but dock.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I had to repair my dock to get into it.
Oh, you getting hit by the same person?
Yeah, they've hit. They're losing, but they've hit.
Oh, that's pretty funny. We made her spend coins just to tell us where she was at on her fleet.
That's right.
Whatever.
You're welcome, Kixeye. You're welcome.
Okay. They're kind of scattered all throughout there, so I gotta find them all. I know that one's at U1. There's another one. That one's U1.
Hey, cool thing. I don't know if any of the rest of you guys have tried it yet, but I sent one Punisher into a SSRB for the base part side. One Punisher can do the whole thing.
Really? That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
That'll be fun. That means I can shatter my fleet and do like 3 or 4 of them at once.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting crazy results on the base parts 109 on auto. It's just crazy what a good range is to. So I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
What about half built?
Yes, Nate, it will auto. I never drive SSRBs. I just let it go. And it did like the whole thing in the time limit, and it was instant map repair. Now, granted, mine is U2 and does have 2 pieces of radioactive armor on it, along with some evade armor. But I mean, the armor might affect your repair time a little bit, but it won't affect your ability to auto the target within the time. And yes, I know you're Shark, but you show up as Nate in the chat, so I say Nate so people in chat know who the hell I'm talking to.
I wouldn't know. Now I know. Shark.
So what else we got you guys want to talk about?
My fleet?
Sure, talk about your fleet. Talk about your silly little flagship.
Well, not. Let me screen share and we can.
Now, we don't have that kind of time, Cuddle.
Oh, we don't.
I'm kidding.
And Cuddle, you're going to be in the Alpha world. You were saying for everybody is going to be in Alpha.
I'm going to go to Alpha, yeah, for the raid start. I think, unless I get orders otherwise. Yeah, I'm planned to be in Alpha.
Good call. Good.
Here's my flagship. I've gone for a heavy. It's currently being upgraded to U2, so it's in my yard. I have gone for a variant which allows a heavy evade variant, 92% evade. I'm using the D75 Victor mortars for extra speed. I have none of the new armors on any of my ships, and this is the only place I'm using the new engine. Let me get my regular ship. The combat speed on my flagship is 87. These are my regular ones. Again, I'm not using any of the new engines on these, just the Scorcher turbine for the extra damage, and these will be moving at combat speed 86. And even with this armor block, I have 61% evade on even these guys. I'm truly hoping evade is going to be a big thing, but and I plan to, after the raid, I'll put on the real armor. And I can fit a fleet of 5 of these in here if I use this ship. So I'll be running a fleet of 4. At any rate, that is my fleet.
Cool.
I have high hopes for it.
As long as they allow it in the targets.
Exactly. And there isn't an update just before the raid where they go, oh yeah, lowered cannon mount no longer stacks with everything else. So you lose.
Well, they'd be having to send out a whole bunch of tokens to a lot of people because they knew this was a problem. I personally pointed out to them that this was a problem, so they can't say they didn't know.
I could show them my fleet, but I could show you all my fleet, but it's all empty slots.
I think I just don't know. I just am not as far ahead as everyone else due to I don't have the upgrades done. I'm a slacker, but I don't think the community is going to be too set on it either. I mean, really.
It's the disparity between the player base that worries me. Like, even in this chat, half of us have our docks upgraded and can run a full heavy fleet of these things into the raid, and half of us don't and are going to have to run it in a chopped fleet into the raid. They say that the chopped fleet is supposed to be able to do the targets, to be able to do this raid. Now, whether or not you believe that is completely up to you. I'm very, very skeptical because that extra ship adds a tremendous amount of defense and firepower.
As for being able to do the raid, that's fine. But I've always been of the opinion I can stick my hands in a fire. Do I want to? No.
But
I want to put my hands in a fire.
In all actuality, however this raid is going to work, it's depending on what steel front or kick size steel front, what they would call a fleet at OP11. What they might call a fleet at OP11 is completely different than what we call a fleet at OP11.
And what would be acceptable damage?
Bingo. You're going to have a lot of people that's, like you said, Cuddle, you got a lot of people that's already got their dock upgraded and all that. They're going to be able to run a full fleet. Okay. Now, yeah, it's going to be dependent. It's however we're going to get this raid is going to go. It depends on what steel front has built. They may have built a fleet and say, okay, this is going to be the OP11 fleet that may actually be an OP12 fleet, and they're not realizing it. Because it depends on how they built them, how much armor's on them, and how many there are. They may build a five-hull fleet. It's got half the damage or half the armor, maybe have no armor, whatever they have as specials, which, you know, when you started coming out and Ren coming out building fleets, there's 2 or 3 different specials that you could have used. So it depends on what they used. And
But
not
I mean, that's like the same every raid. That part of it doesn't really have much to do with OP11 or OP12. You know, because that part's the same every single raid.
this time it will be because due to the fleet weight at OP11 and the fleet weight at OP12. Because there's several variations. There's some people that might get 3 out that fully built and they can't have that 4th one. There might be some people that's got all 5 built that is at the weight limit at OP11. Having 5 built is going to have more damage output than 3. Then,
Like, to me, it's all just a lot of that's just watching your weight whenever you're building. You know, like I knew going into this raid, I wanted to have 3 ships in the flag, so I knew no single one of my ships could go over 50,000 tons. You know, that was just a matter of simple, basic math.
but you know, as I was saying, Damnation, for everybody that's building these, you might have 3 in a flag, but other players also might try to have 3 and a flag, but they're built completely different.
Yeah, I think multiple builds are going to work. And would be my guess. They have in the past. The where I'm thinking is where we're going to get hit on the is what the damage total is tuned at. Is it able to be complete? I'm sure it will be able to be completed with a partial fleet because that's what they said they're tuning it to. But my concern is will it be able to be completed, or will it be able to completed with reasonable damage? That's where I'm concerned at. That's the only thing I'm worried at. You know, is the reasonable damage point.
Well, it's also dependent on who was able to get all the limited launchers and who wasn't able to get the limited launchers.
I don't think so. I think that.
Well, actually, I have to agree with him on this one. The limited launchers are a huge difference.
All right. Well, then I'm in trouble. Yeah.
A boat of regular launchers on the back of my hull does 2.3 million damage. If I swap in all limited guns, it goes to 4.3 million damage. That's 2 million damage by upgrading the guns. So that's per hull.
So what is Kickside counting as? Are they going with the regular weapons? Or are they going to be counting the limited weapons damage?
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah, you're right on that one. That could put me out too, because I didn't limit it the whole thing either. I just don't have.
My guess would be they're going to tune somewhere in the middle between the two.
I mean, it's not beneficial for them really to put out a product that doesn't do anything that you can't use. I would think, but they've been known before. But if the non-limited one doesn't get you through, There's, you know what I mean? It's kind of why have it out?
Well, I mean,
Yep.
I think we decided when we were going through all the different variations, builds, and everything, it's like if we're using the non-limited one, supercharge is the way you want to go. If you're using the limited one, multi-shot is the way you want to go. Isn't that pretty much the conclusion we came to, Cuddle?
No, that would probably make sense, I guess. Because you're going for the boom. Well, no, your multi-shot could get you more boom.
Multi-shot gets you more boom, but each multi-shot does individually does a whole bunch of damage. The
Okay,
shot.
well, hang on.
Oh boy, yeah.
Multi-shot does not get you more boom than what supercharge does, but if you're using the limiteds, multi-shot gets you more damage per flechette. And since the damage per flechette is so much higher on the limited one, that's why you're better going multi-shot on that, whereas you're better going supercharged and getting kabooms on the little one. Or I guess I should say, instead of little one, I should say the non-limited one.
Yeah, the kaboom damage is only modified by anything that says shockwave damage. So we're already at maximum shockwave damage right off the bat. I believe it's like 18.5 million damage once you factor in the 50% shockwave damage bump. But what shockwaves don't get is they don't get any plus to radioactive damage, nor do they get any bonuses to building damage, whereas your regular launchers do. The individual...
Go ahead.
The individual flechettes coming off the back of my ship that do 4.3 million damage. Each one of the flechettes coming off of there does 716,000. Once I add all the other bonuses from, say, radioactive damage and building damage on there, it turns out that each flechette is doing approximately 9 million damage against a building. That is before U3. At U3, that number will increase by 50%. At that point in time, that's an individual flechette. And the kaboom is only at 18. So 2 to 3 flechettes, and I'm doing as much damage as the kaboom is doing. So
to dummy that down for everybody, limited launchers, multi-shot good. Non-limited launchers, supercharge good.
I had a mouthful of food, so I've had to wait. Yeah, I was just to prove there is a different Snoopy. I was going to say that I mean, Kickstarter were not great at letting us do targets with the wrong fleet or the wrongly built fleet. Whereas Stillfront, you can get away with fleets that are not quite built. You know, they don't all have to be built the same, if you like. So you can get away with more, I think. But
oh yeah, you're totally not the normal Snoopy. Get the fuck out of here.
yeah. Snoopy sold me his account.
You just said something positive. You can't be the real Snoopy.
Yeah, I'd agree with that though.
I would agree with it too. It shocked me to hear it coming out of his mouth.
Well, yeah, I told you there's more than one Snoopy, you see. It's the other one that's always getting me into trouble.
Oh, there you go. I guess we can go over BP next week a little bit. I'm not going to pull it up because it's not really a whole lot to talk about. They're going to do an art showcase on Monday. And of course, you know, the update notes will go live by the end of the day. There's going to be 3 campaigns, so that's kind of cool. We're going to get on Tuesday, we'll get the March Raid Vengeance briefing, the strategy guide. And I guess in the raid, we're going to be seeing the X1 upgrades. You're going to see the new Trencher Conqueror ship. And you will be seeing the new heavy weapons for our Punishers. And then on Wednesday, the raid starts. So that was pretty much all that there was for the BP next week. So Anybody got anything else, or am I pulling the plug?
I can't remember anything, but then again, I can't remember what I had for breakfast, so that's not a lot to say there.
There you go. Ross, you got anything?
No. It's just I'm get more and more disappointed on my fleet every time I discover more, but it is what it is, and I'm happy that half repair is coming up for the raid, so there shall be base hitting.
One other thing about VP next week, under the thing about the raid, it does say that one of the things we can look forward to is heavy weapons, plural. So that implies we're getting more than one heavy weapon, right? So that should be fun.
Or it could be there's only one heavy weapon, but it's limited, so you have to buy it multiple times.
Or you're getting increase of what heavy weapons that you have.
Not on the halls, no, because there's only one slot for them.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I'm sorry. Yeah, heavy weapon on a hull. Never mind.
And the didn't we already say, or y'all, somebody already said that the specials will not, the ones that are marked at where they work with heavy weapons, they will not work with your heavy weapon.
What?
Well,
Wait, what?
under the multi-shot, I know what he's talking about. Under the multi-shot specials, some of them say like +3 multi-shot parentheses +6 multi-shot or for heavies. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, somebody done
Okay.
come up. I've heard they were talking about that will not work with the heavy weapon.
Right. It's not the one we see in our lab or in our shipyard at the moment, which I suspect is going to change, isn't a multi-shot weapon. So that's why it doesn't kick with it, unfortunately.
Okay.
It's got to have the stat to add something to it.
Yeah, it doesn't just add multi-shot to something that doesn't already have it. But I still think, the multi-shot special is the best way to go if you're using the limited weapons.
Well, the limited weapons, yes, but the heavy weapon, no.
Well, we can't. We can't. You can't build to the heavy weapon yet because we haven't seen it.
Well, it is in the game currently.
Okay, but all right. So you can build to it, and it doesn't. Does it matter, or what? Are you saying they're going to change it?
Don't know.
I don't think they'll change it. I think it just got snuck in early.
Right. Okay. And we just don't think it matters.
It's pretty insane.
Okay.
If that's going in straight, I mean, the base damage against a building is 420,000. And then you start throwing, radioactive damage bonuses on it and building damage bonuses on them. I have over 1,000 on each of those. So that number is going to get astronomically large.
Okay, has anybody seen the BP next week yet?
Well, that's what we're.
Yeah, that's literally what we just got done talking about.
Okay, I'm sorry. I had to step away for a minute. The what's getting me is when the strategy guy comes out, it's going to have more information about the Punishers. The Punisher, the Atomic Punisher and the regular Punisher. Anybody want to take a wild guess what that might be? Or have y'all already talked about that?
It would be, in my opinion, it's just simply basically just saying what the target is.
Actually, what it says specifically is it's going to contain more info on the X1 upgrade for both of them.
There we go.
So that's what I speculate that it'll have, information on the X1 upgrade.
Bingo.
These upgrades are just killing players.
Well, if you do them, I mean, they're not really. It's not, brother, because I don't do them, and I'm not getting killed in the game. So you just gotta. It's truly a state of mind. In all honesty, you gotta just. Yeah. When I just let it go and decided to do certain things in the game that I want to do and are fun, my game isn't suffering yet. It's pretty fun, and so I don't do upgrades, and I get by.
Yeah, but they really come in handy.
They do. They do. And they do. And they get you the top scores and they get you that. But what I'm talking about is getting you by. And I'm getting by.
And Kixeye is getting better and better at making the upgrades more necessary, I guess.
Yes. They're doing more effectiveness. More value in them.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. When they first came out and they said they weren't going to matter, we all knew they were lying.
Right.
We all knew they were lying. Whether it was that they were lying then or whether they were going to be lying 6 months from now, we all knew they were lying.
Yep. I mean, U3 for these ships adds 50% radioactive damage.
That's huge.
Really big.
But my fleet probably will never see it because I'll be changing guns to limited. I'll be adding limited armors as I get them. You know what I mean? And it just won't. It won't happen.
Well, all I know is if I can't hit the top targets this raid, well, it also depends on what they come out with. But if I can't hit the top targets this raid, I'm going to have to be trying to do what I can with my riot fleets.
Or you know what? You and me, Storm, we go out and we hit bases.
Were you not able to do the TLC Stormcatcher?
No.
For the Punisher build tokens?
No.
Do the same as me, Stormcatcher, and get roster prep for you.
Yeah.
And we definitely will see that campaign again next month before the final raid.
That's just like the Cry Havoc TLC to come out. I can't do that one because the only fleet that I really got is Dreadnoughts. I have not been able. I've got one Warhound built. I have not been able to get the blueprints for the rest of them. Like the 2 is in pillage right now. I've put that into what I'm wanting to get. I myself, like a lot of other players, I'd be lucky to get them out in order to get them built and everything to keep up on the PvP side. There's a lot of us that's been trying our best. It's just the TLCs and all that, and we've all said it before. Sometimes some players just cannot do them because I'm going to say it. Yes, the coiners can, but the media and non-coiners can't.
Okay. I'm going to stop you right there. When it comes to, I might agree with you when it comes to PvP campaigns, but when it comes to PvE campaigns, that is a total absolute fallacy. I do not spend any coins on PvE whatsoever, and I can do pretty much all of the TLCs that come out.
Okay. Yes, you can. Others can. But
well, I mean, and that's fine, but don't use the coining thing as a crutch as to why people can't.
Sorry about that, but that's my opinion. other players' opinion, and I look at it. That's the way a lot of it somewhat is. And for you, yes, a lot of it is, some of them don't coin, but are they're able to do them without the coin. It's just how, I guess I'm trying to say it's because of the have and have nots. Players can get what they need to run through these TLCs, bounty, raid, and all that because they're good at it. There's a lot of us that are still struggling to get is what needed, and we cannot do the raid very well. We cannot do pillage very well. We cannot do the TLCs very well because we're not so good at a lot of stuff.
What I would say there, which I've said to many people over the years, and some take it and some don't. Aim high. Never ever hit a low target when you can hit a high target. That's basically the way I do things. I aim for the high targets, and I won't go for a low target, other than the 120s in the FM, like just to make up a few points when I need res.
I'd agree. I do better shooting for the moon than grinding little.
I myself, when at the beginning of the show, to get what I would like, to get what I feel like that I need to continue, it's going to cost me around 1 million points. And that's because some of them is also still trying to get kits, upgrade tokens, and all that to get upgrades done.
Okay, hang on real quick. We're going to make the show go a little late now because I want to go through the prize list and see what you think is essential for you to be able to continue forward.
I just scored another 100,000, by the way, on the pillage while in the show.
Glad to see you're focusing on what we're doing.
I was
never even prepped for me.
I'm giving you a hard time, Ross.
I was totally focused, and that was because Cuttlefish showed me that little, the little gig there, and I paid attention to it, and it's pretty much auto. And when you really have the other targets stacked, it makes the points.
Yeah, that makes it go super fast.
Yeah.
All right. So, Stormcatcher, what do you think in this prize list is essential for you to get moving forward?
Okay, hang on. I've got it. Okay, one is the flagship. Yes.
Okay. Yes, I will not argue with that at all.
And we're
okay. Also, it's the upgrade kits, the VXP tokens, and I'm looking at both of them for the Atomic Punisher and the regular Punisher, because whenever I can get my 4th Punisher built, instead of going through when VXP Weekend comes out, I can just throw the tokens on it, and I should be all right.
Okay, so
okay. Well, I'm going to go real quick first, Ross, and then you can go. Okay.
Well, how many kits? How about that? Can I say how many Atomic Punisher kits do we need? How many do you say you need?
Usually they're shown. Okay, it is the total kits is 130. Usually you need all 130.
Okay.
Okay, let me ask you this. I'm going to start going through what you were talking about. Realistically, what are the odds you're going to have your Punisher flagship up to U3 by the start of the raid?
I'm not even having a build
So why are you getting those kits then?
to go ahead and have them as soon as my shipyard comes open to be able to throw it in to be able to start getting it upgraded.
You don't think there's going to be any during the raid or during the next event or the next event after that?
Yes, but it also depends on, can I get them? I have to try to get what I can now for at later dates if I'm unable to get them. That's the way a lot of it should be. Get what you can now, because at a later date, you don't know what's going on if you're going to be able to get them then.
Well, right, and I understand that, but no offense, but at 135,000 points or whatever you're at, can you really afford to be getting them now?
If you can't get all of them now, just get the ones that you need for U1 and U2.
Right.
Now, see, myself, instead of trying to get, say, like 5 things of tokens, I would probably go for 1 limited launcher over 5 packs of tokens.
That's what I'm going to do.
If I were in your situation.
And same situation as me. I'm going to switch over and go for the launchers instead of the upgrade. Is my first priority.
The engines, I'm iffy on. Like everybody's been talking, not sure they're going to really necessarily work. The only thing that I can see is, yes, the extra survival will help, but with the upgrades, will probably be better. Now, the evade bonus would probably really help also. The engines are iffy. Now, the structure build token, yeah, that would really help a lot of players right now.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm not debating that it could help at all. I'm not debating that, but it is not essential to have to move forward.
I would also like to get me some onslaught engines to help with PvP. I don't know. There's a few other things that I had on my list, and I completely forgot what they are. But in order to help I myself, and yes, other players I don't know what I'm trying to say is, but in order for a lot of us to be able to keep going, a lot of this stuff is what players need, like myself. And we're just having problems getting them.
So the points are too high.
Basically, yes. And with that last TLC, the Punisher TLC, I might have been able to do the first 2 stages, but the last for Prize Pack 3 and the Master rounds, there was no way I was able to get through that in the time limit, because Prize Pack 1, Prize Pack 2, it's always 2 hours. Prize Pack 3, you're knocked down to an hour. And for some of us that cannot drive very well through the last stage, we get completely wiped out and we give up because we cannot do it. We cannot do, as I was saying, we cannot do some of the TLCs. We have problems getting the points that we're needing in pillage, bounty, the raids. And like, especially with bounty, I was trying to get the warhounds in bounty, but with life matters, part of it, my health, And when you getting ready to, well, you cannot hit the kickside targets to build your points up quick. You happen to hit the player targets, or the replica targets. By the time you get ready to bank points, if you're lucky, you're able to bank them before your bubble pops, and somebody goes, "Oh, there's 4,000 something points right there," and you get hammered.
Wait, how did we get way off of topic? Because we were talking about this prize list for this event and what you thought you needed to get going for it. And now suddenly we've gone so far off topic.
I'm doing it all in one way. I'm just saying, trying to get what you need out of this pillage also is, it works with everything.
Well, I think part of the problem that you're having, and this is just my opinion, I think part of the problem you're having in this pillage is you're prioritizing incorrectly where you should be spending your points.
I kind of, and I'm not trying to upset anyone, but I'm like in the same boat as you right here on this situation, on this hull. And I would say that my only thing that I would say are must-haves for me right now is the lead, because I don't have a belt, and then the launcher, the weapons for it. And
I would throw the VXP tokens in there as well.
Yeah, and the VXP tokens for the lead, because
right,
and then that's it. And that racks off the list of required. And I think that's true.
And I mean, you talk about stuff like the onslaught engines. Yes, they would be nice to have, but at the same point in time, once you get your PvE game sorted, the PvP game will come.
Right.
Once you have your PvE fleet sorted, it'll be no problem for you to get the points for those onslaught engines and stuff. But it's just right now you're in a position where you have to focus on what the bare essentials are to get your PvE fleet running correctly. And I think, and it's not just you, I think that's where a lot of people fall down sometimes, is not being to properly prioritize and see, okay, this is what I'm realistically going to be able to get done before the next event. So these are the only things I need to be spending points on.
And feeling overwhelmed, because that overwhelming feeling that you are having, like that number of points that you really feel that you need, is not a settling feeling. But I'm just saying, just let that go. Yeah, let that go.
And don't think I'm trying to pick on you about this. This is This is like advice I'm trying to give to everybody that's having these same issues. So I'm not just like picking on you or whatever. Please don't think that.
No, it's almost 3/4 of my alliance is in the exact same shape that we are in on this hull, and that's going to be my advice to them too. Just don't be overwhelmed. Prioritize correct.
I mean, when we first started seeing this list, and Cuddle can tell you, because it was me, Cuddle, and Jolly talking about it, and they were talking about 980,000 points, or almost 1 million points that we need when the list first came out. And I was like, and I immediately started cutting stuff down because I knew I wasn't going to get that many points. And I'm like, I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need this. You know, I'm only going to have 4 ships ready to go for the raid. So I actually didn't need any of the launchers because I can get them in the future as events go on. But I don't need them this event. You know, I can use the Scorcher engine over the new engine. So I don't need the new engine. You know, it's a matter of prioritizing properly. And a lot of people fall down there.
I must admit, I've stopped being able to get. Well, I've not stopped. I cannot get everything that I used to get. I used to, like bounty. I always used to get all the stuff. I didn't get it last bounty. I don't get all the stuff in the FM. I can't do it. So I have to just pick and choose what I'm going to get. Okay, I've got most of the stuff this pillage, but next pillage, who knows? I'd cruise this pillage, so, you know, that worked and helped. Next pillage, maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't have any of the bastion walls for, but that I would like to put on my portals. But, probably maybe this upcoming raid, maybe I can squeak out enough points to get one of them then, and it's just realistic goals and spending points properly is what it all comes down to. No, I think we might have made Stormcatcher mad because he's not saying anything now. So.
No, I'm here. I'm listening.
No, but I think we all fall into that trap. I mean, it's just being when we feel overwhelmed, and you just got to prioritize.
Yeah, it's very easy to feel overwhelmed when a new prize list comes out and you start looking at all the points that are required for it.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's like when I started going through and trimming out, I don't need this. I don't need that. I don't need this. I trimmed, I got it from 980 points down to, what was it, Cuddle? Like 400 points? 400,000 points or something?
About 400,000.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, and I know in your situation, you're thinking 400,000 is still more than you could do. But honestly, I probably could have trimmed it down even more because I included those two-day build tokens in there, and that's 140K right there. So just by knocking those off, I would have got it down to 260. So you just look at what you can realistic do. Look at what you're realistically is what's going to help you move forward that you're going to use before the next event, and focus on those things.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think we beat this horse to death. So I guess we're gonna end everything now because we were gonna originally end it half an hour ago, but then we got sidetracked on this. But I think that was a good little conversation to have, though, honestly. So, all right, everybody say bye. I'm pulling the plug.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
Peace, everyone.
Fire it up.
Hey,
Cheers,
give us a thumbs up party because we like the thumbs ups. And we'll talk to you next week. Take care, guys. Bye.